Welcome into Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. We are talking Week 17 overreactions. Clearly a good game for Seattle against the Detroit Lions. We've got a lot of reactions to discuss, but first, some positive news in Seattle. Bobby Wagner, who went out with a knee injury during yesterday's game, Pete Carroll says he does not have any major damage. So this is really good news, meaning Bobby Wagner is not going to need to have any surgery done. Now, whether or not he plays in Week 18, I'd say it's highly doubtful. Pete Carroll didn't answer this question, but if I'm Seattle, I don't know why you would risk Bobby Wagner getting hurt. Clearly let him rest, get well during the offseason. It's nothing serious, but definitely don't want to make it worse. So positive news on Bobby Wagner and a positive day for Seattle. I understand this season did not go as planned, but you can still be excited about a 51-29 victory against the Lions. I understand, guys, it's the Lions, but I felt good about Russell Wilson, Rashaad Penny. These are all guys we're going to talk about in today's show, but Seahawks did well and they beat the Lions and they did a great job. So I will ask you guys before we get into our Week 17 overreactions, what is your one-word reaction to Sunday's game? This is the pinned comment for today's show, so you know how it goes. If you get the ad break, just scroll on down, answer this question. Give me one word to describe the Seahawks versus Lions win yesterday. All right, moving into our Week 17 overreactions. First one being DJ Reed, Week 17 MVP. Now, Week 17 MVP for Seattle. I'd say he definitely gets a game ball. DJ Reed has looked really good this season. Now, if you guys remember back in August when we were talking about this cornerback room and the uncertainty that came about it, I'd say they really all stepped up. Reed has had 73 tackles this year, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and he really has earned his role as a starting quarterback. If you remember back in 2020, he came in and actually kind of took on a starting role then. He has had that role ever since. He does, however, become a free agent after this season. There's a lot of Seahawks players that are free agents after this year, so it's going to be decision time for Seattle. Now, DJ Reed is someone that I would love to see back. You look at this cornerback room and you see Sidney Jones, obviously, who was out with COVID-19 last week. Don't forget about Trey Brown, the rookie who had a season-ending injury. Les Austin, obviously. John Reed has been kind of taking on that backup role. Now, if I'm Seattle, I'm looking at this cornerback room and I'm saying I'd love to see DJ Reed and Trey Brown next year. Now, Trey Brown, we probably stopped talking about because he went out with a season-ending injury. But I really, if you can remember earlier weeks, Trey Brown looked really good. And DJ Reed has looked really great also. Now, I'm not saying this to talk bad about Sidney Jones. I think Sidney Jones has looked okay. He struggled in some games, and I don't necessarily believe that Seattle would want to use him as a number 1 guy. So that's why I'm saying you'd stick with Reed and you'd stick with Trey Brown. So I will ask you guys this because DJ Reed is not going to officially be a Seahawks member after this season. Should the Seahawks re-sign DJ Reed? I'm all for it, so I'm taking R for re-sign, but let me know your opinion. R for re-sign or type L for let walk. All right, next question or next overreaction we have today is that Russ has something to prove. Russell Wilson looked really good yesterday, and I know it's sometimes hard to determine how well he did when you're going up against a team that has not been successful at all this season. But I agree, Russ does have something to prove. He is a competitive guy, and he does not like hearing all of the chatter, all of the media drama about Russell Wilson not looking like himself. He's obviously hearing the trade rumors, but I think more importantly, he's hearing guys question his ability. Russell Wilson has struggled. It's without a doubt this season hasn't looked like the normal Russell Wilson that we know and love, but he was returning from a finger injury, missing time, what that does to you mentally, an offensive line that didn't perform maybe exceptional this year. And so Russell Wilson is going to go out on a bang, and he's going to want to prove himself. Against the Lions, I'd say he did really well. He was 20 out of 29 attempts, 236 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a QB rating of 133.1. Now, I think what stood out most about Russell Wilson in Week 17 was obviously the connection with DK Metcalf. This has been probably the most dramatic topic regarding Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf is him not being able to connect with his top wide receiver. That was not the case in week 17. DK Metcalf, 3 touchdowns, and Russell Wilson and him just looking happier. There was a lot of rumors going around that DK Metcalf was angry, and I understand he's been frustrated, and he's even kind of admitted to that. So to see that connection back with his top receiver is obviously great. And of course, there is going to still be Russell Wilson trade rumors coming up, and we will keep you updated on that. But today we are not talking about that. We are going to stay positive, and something positive I do have to share with you guys is a great deal going on over at Fanatics. If you like this cool zip-up hoodie, a licensed official Seahawks gear, if you go to chatsports.com/12 hoodie, you can get this full zip-up hoodie for 20% off. I really like this because I think it kind of looks throwback, but also has the cool colors that with the lime green in it. This is my favorite Seahawks zip-up hoodie, and it's on sale for a great price. Offer ends tonight, though, so if you do want this, go get it now. Again, that's chatsports.com/12 hoodie. Do not miss out on this deal because tomorrow morning it will be gone. All right, next overreaction we have for week 17 is that Rashaad Penny has proven his value. Rashaad Penny is more than proving his value. Rashaad Penny has been exceptional, and it's crazy to say that because first of all, he's definitely proving his worth. Rashaad Penny is a guy that we all kind of questioned. We didn't know, and it's understandable because Rashaad Penny has obviously dealt with a ton of injuries in his career, so we haven't gotten to see his ability. Now, that is obviously the big question mark when you think about Rashaad Penny and whether or not the Seahawks are going to want to bring him back next year. You think about, well, is he going to be able to stay healthy enough? But you definitely cannot argue that when he is healthy, he is not good because Penny might be worth the penny. And my producer, Sam, wrote that in as the title, and it was very creative. But Rashaad Penny in 2021 had 96 carries, 559 yards, 5 touchdowns. His long was 47. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm figuring out a way to bring back Rashaad Penny. You look at this running back room. Now, Chris Carson went out with that neck injury, not even from a game. It's something that's been lingering on since college. So he's expecting a full return. Chris Carson is a guy, again, I would love to see Chris Carson healthy back out on the field for Seattle, but I would love Rashaad Penny to be there with him. Now, Alex Collins, also a free agent after this year. So Seattle's going to have a lot of decisions when it comes to the running back room. Now, I would have originally chosen Alex Collins. This is before we saw Rashaad Penny light up. I'm going Rashaad Penny now, but I will ask you guys, if you had to pick just one of these guys to re-sign, who would you take? Are you taking Alex Collins? If so, type AC in the comments. Or if you are now taking Rashaad Penny, you can join the bandwagon. I'm joining it. I'm taking Rashaad Penny, and I'm going to type RP for Rashaad Penny. Now, our last week 17 overreaction is a downer because, of course, someone has to be negative, and they said they played the Lions. That's the overreaction, is that none of this matters because they played the Lions. And yes, this is true. The Lions are obviously struggling more than the Seahawks, so the Seahawks were definitely expected to win, but it still feels good. You put up 51 points on the board, and you're telling me you can't feel good about that. To me, it feels good to win. I think the Seahawks definitely can feel good about this. And though it was against a Lions team that's struggling, and also, you know, Jared Goff not being out there, I think it's understandable that fans are reacting that way. But Seattle's had a rough season. They've dealt with injuries. They've also dealt with COVID-19 issues, Russell Wilson not being on. I think it was just a good confidence booster for this Seahawks organization. Yes, it didn't mean anything, but I do think that this is good momentum, especially as they head into the offseason. And now as we get into the offseason, of course, there's going to be more to talk about. But our overreactions for today, just to recap, DJ Reed, Week 17 MVP. I'd agree with that. Russ had something to prove. Absolutely. Very competitive. Russell Wilson is definitely going to always have something to prove. Rashaad Penny proving his value. Absolutely. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm figuring out a way to re-sign him. And lastly, they played the Lions. Now, of course, that is true, but it is not going to take away from the Seahawks having a big win, putting up 51 points. Now, of course, we are going to start switching gears to the offseason soon. We are going to be talking trade rumors, a lot of discussion regarding Pete Carroll. There's going to be questions about free agency, what the Seahawks should do for 2022. So this is why you subscribe to Seahawks Today, because of course we are going to keep you updated on all of this. It's 100% free, guys, too. So more videos for more people that subscribe. It's that simple. So if you subscribe, we'll give you guys more videos. Go to youtube.com/SeahawksTV or click that big red button.